They moved a river. Then they buried it under 10 million cubic meters of concrete. The reservoir behind it is larger than the entire city of London. It generates 5,150 megawatts, more than double Ethiopia's entire output before it.
I've stood at the base of the Hoover Dam. This is bigger, wider, and built by a country that funded every cent itself.
$5 billion, 14 years, 25,000 workers, no World Bank, no IMF, no foreign loans. And downstream, 2 countries that threatened war to stop it being built. Egypt ran military exercises called Nile Eagles, rehearsing strikes on the dam site. They built it anyway. September 9, 2025, Africa's largest dam opened. The man who opened it said, "This dam is not built to harm Egypt. It is built to light up our homes." This is how Africa's most controversial dam and most ambitious megaproject got built. In 2011, 45% of Ethiopia had no electricity. Zero, not intermittent, none. Hospitals ran on generators. Factories couldn't operate after dark. 3 million square kilometers, mostly dark. But Ethiopia sits on the headwaters of the Blue Nile, the source of 85% of Egypt's water. The site chosen, a narrow basalt gorge just 14 kilometers from the Sudanese border. The contract went to Italy's Salini Impregilo, the firm that would later become WeBuild. April 2, 2011, foundation stone laid. The project that would change the Horn of Africa began.
Before you could pour a single liter of concrete, you had to build an entire city out here from nothing.
WeBuild built housing for 10,000 workers, a private airstrip, 2 bridges, an entire road network. On-site concrete batching plants were essential. Once you start a continuous RCC pour, you cannot stop. Studio Pietrangeli from Milan designed the dam. Geodata engineering tested the foundations, every meter of basalt. The first challenge, the Blue Nile floods to 8,000 cubic meters per second in rainy season. It had to be moved. The gorge width at the dam axis, 1,800 meters. The foundation rock, solid ancient basalt. Before any concrete, the foundation had to be cleaned to bare rock, every weak zone removed and grouted. A grout curtain was injected under the entire dam footprint. No water can seep under the wall. Foundation ready, the gorge prepared. In 2013, they did something nobody had ever done on the Nile before. They diverted the Blue Nile, just moved it, the most storied river in history, redirected for construction. 4 diversion culverts blasted through solid rock, each one 210 meters long, 8 meters wide.
This is one of the culverts. The entire Blue Nile, thousands of cubic meters per second, routed through tunnels like this one.
The total discharge capacity of all 4 culverts combined, 14,700 cubic meters per second. The main channel, dry. For the first time in recorded history, the Blue Nile stood still at this site. 10,000 workers moved in, the exposed riverbed, their construction floor. Rock core samples tested for every dam block location. Strength, permeability, nothing left to chance. The 4 culverts would later be plugged with concrete when filling began, permanently sealed, forever. A drainage system of 4 longitudinal galleries, at different heights, catches any water that seeps through the foundation. The upstream cofferdam sealed the work zone. Behind it, a completely dry canyon, ready for concrete. The main dam footprint marked out on the riverbed. Block 1, the first of thousands, ready to pour. Roller compacted concrete, almost no water, almost no cement. It looks like damp gravel, and it behaves like steel. Each RCC layer, 300 millimeters thick, compacted by vibratory rollers, then the next layer placed on top. WeBuild's on-site lab developed a special RCC mix, extended setting times for the Ethiopian heat, their own formula.
Imagine you're looking at the bare riverbed, nothing here, and in 10 years, this 170-meter wall rises out of it.
You can read the dam's construction history in those horizontal lines. Every layer, a week of work. The upstream face isn't bare RCC, it's clad in conventional concrete, a stronger, denser water barrier. The RCC generates heat as it cures. 31 thermocouples embedded inside, monitoring every degree, preventing cracking. At peak, 100,000 cubic meters of RCC placed per month, around the clock, 7 days a week. Meanwhile, 5 kilometers away, a second dam, the Saddle Dam, 60 meters high, 5 kilometers long, rockfill, not concrete. The Saddle Dam closes a low point in the reservoir rim. Without it, the water finds a way around the main wall. 2 dams, 1 project. The main wall and the Saddle Dam together seal the entire reservoir basin. 3 spillways cut through the dam body, emergency release valves for when the reservoir overfills. Each spillway gate weighs hundreds of tons. Hydraulic rams operate them. 1 failure, uncontrolled release. 2 powerhouses, 1 on each bank of the river. 8 turbine units on the left, 8 on the right. Penstocks carry water from the reservoir down through the dam body, 9 meters wide. Immense pressure at full head.
GE Vernova supplied the turbines. Chongqing Iron and Steel supplied the electromechanical equipment. It was global, assembled in a gorge in Ethiopia.
16 Francis turbines, each one rated at 375 to 400 megawatts. Turbine alignment, critical to hundredths of a millimeter. Get it wrong, vibration destroys the unit in weeks. The powerhouse itself is a major construction, 40 meters high, housing transformers, control rooms, crane bays. Power is stepped up to 500 kilovolts at the dam, then transmitted by overhead lines to a switchyard downstream. The switchyard connects to Ethiopia's national grid and to export lines running to Sudan, Kenya, Djibouti. By 2020, the dam wall had risen above its maximum flood level. The hard structure was essentially done. The crest reaches 170 meters above the original riverbed, almost the height of a 50-story building. 10.7 million cubic meters of roller-compacted concrete, the largest RCC gravity dam ever built in Africa. Drainage galleries, 4 longitudinal tunnels inside the dam body, connected by cross galleries, monitoring and draining any seepage forever. The diversion culverts, blasted through rock to move the Nile, permanently plugged with concrete. The river had no other path. 2 controlled outlets in the main dam, capable of releasing 830 cubic meters per second for average annual flow management. The upstream face must be watertight against 74 billion cubic meters of water pressure for centuries. Over 100 instruments embedded inside the dam body, measuring movement, pressure, temperature, continuously, forever. Every reading from every instrument feeds here, live. If the dam moves by a millimeter anywhere, they know immediately. The Saddle Dam's concrete face, 60 meters high, 5 kilometers long. 1 continuous, impermeable surface. At the Saddle Dam toe, a filter and drain layer catches any seepage through the rockfill. Safety in depth. Together, they hold back 74 billion cubic meters, the largest reservoir ever created in East Africa. The dam crest is a road, connecting 2 banks of the gorge for the first time in history.
1 river, $5 billion, and a continent changed forever. The Nile has a new master. Subscribe now for more mega projects.